Okay, so welcome to episode 14 of Inventor Spotlight with the lovely Denise Ramos. We'll get to all that in just a moment. So if your first time you're on here, this is the Inventor Smart community brought to you by the National Inventor Club and, of course, Inventor Smart, which is an app that you can find and download. If you're an inventor and you're looking for a community for help, guidance, advice, just to be in together, please find us on anywhere that you download your apps, Google Play or the Apple Store, and Inventor Smart Community. So this is, like I said, episode 13 of our community of Inventor Spotlight. So we'll take some of our inventors that are our premium members in our community, and we interview them, we highlight them, we talk about just a casual conversation of how your invention came to be, what inspired you, kind of where you're at, what your journey is. And today I'm just thrilled to have Denise with us. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here too. So we met recently in person at the National Inventor Club's Inventor Day 2024 in Alexandria, Virginia.
Yes.
Man.
That was a great day.
It was really cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think, I can't remember how many were in attendance, but a lot of us was the first time that we were able to meet in person. Of course, we do a lot of online events. So just really quick, how did you feel about being together as a group for your first time with us?
It was great. I met a lot of interesting people who are in the process, just like myself. Hitting the floor running, trying to get a product out, and just making connections along the way. And like myself, I went there because I wanted to join a community. I wanted to get out of the box and expand. And the only way to do that is actually to connect with other people, other like-minded people who are going through the process and can give you advice.
Exactly. It's the same process. And I love how you're mentioning, and I will as well, as a reminder, we're all at different stages. Some people are serial inventors, like Brian has multiple patents and multiple products on the market. So obviously he's been a great coach and a mentor to all of us. And developing this app, it's the first of its kind, and it's really growing exponentially. And just, again, like-minded inventors like yourself. So I'm so glad that you found us and that you're part of our community and part of this team. So tell us about your invention, give us the name, and just go ahead and give us a quick product description and how you came up with this idea. I love it, by the way.
Thank you so much. My invention is called Pac-It-Pants. And Pac-It-Pants, the whole object was to have a pair of extra pants, attachable pants, onto a diaper, so that when the parent is either at daycare or they're at the park, only thing they have to do is just pick up a pair of these Pac-It-Pants diapers, and the diaper's already embedded into the pants. Well, they're by Velcro, and pretty much it solves the solution. But also the diaper itself. Let me show you the other prototype. The diaper itself is a diaper that has a built-in poop pocket. Now, as you can see, you have your standard diaper here, but then in the back panel of the diaper where the baby sits, there is a pocket that I sew in to hold down number 2. Now, how this came to be was me, first-time mom, 8 years ago, when my daughter had her poop explosions. Someone gave her dairy in daycare, took her home, and all of a sudden I just put my hands down her back and my hands was full of poop. And it happened a few times, and I figured, okay, there had to be something that could help remedy this issue. So it just stayed in my mind. Another issue is when she had her first diaper rash, which ended up with a UTI, and I spent a week at the hospital, and I'm like, okay, well, let me figure out what I could do to modify a diaper. And this is when the first idea came, was creating a diaper with a poop pocket, which I tried on her, and it worked. It worked to a point where it did hold the poop and it kept it down. And then when I decided to add attachable pants, is because let's do an all-in-one combo. Let's add pants to it. So I can just grab it, give it to the daycare worker, tell them, here's an extra change of clothes. Don't worry about the diaper. It's already inside. She just puts it on my child.
Okay, let me jump in because I've seen your product and I understood the concept, but I'm loving this. So you're saying, every parent out there has had to change a not so friendly diaper, right? We can all agree.
Correct.
So on the second version that you're showing us, so it's the actual like those little stretchy pants that every child wears. You've attached the diaper inside of that. So when there is an explosion, blowout, like we like to call it, that comes outside of the diaper, up the back, down the legs, down to the knees, right? We've all been there. We've all been there as parents. So now you're just discarding, you're taking the whole diaper pants off completely, cleaning up obviously, but that's all kind of rolled together. Is that right? Now, does that diaper on the inside, is that a disposable detached? And then you attach, once washed and cleaned, you attach the new diaper.
Yes. So if the pants are not soiled, you can definitely attach another diaper. You're good to go.
Sure.
And it shows you, it wraps around, you have Velcro, so it guides you along the way. And if it's soiled, you can always rewash the pants and use them again. So it's one-stop shop. And this is my invention.
It's so smart, dear. Denise, it's really smart. Okay, so you came up with this idea, like many inventors, many years ago. It kind of sticks in the head, and then life goes on. You don't know what to do, where to go with it. So what was your next steps after that? You had this great idea. Obviously, your baby is still at the time in infant stage, so that stayed with you. Were you developing your product during that time, or was that something that you just kind of put aside and came back to later?
Let's say that I did a little bit of both. I mean, I was as a mom, a first-time mom, trying to work full-time, manage daycare full-time, and unfortunately going through some challenges with work and marriage. It would just have to be on the wayside until I could get some balance. And then when I finally got back on board, it was just a gradual push here, push there, just understanding the whole patent process by myself and trying to find the proper channels. That alone was its own challenge, but I managed to find it along the way. Let's say by the guidance of Providence. I found the right person.
We talk about this a lot in these interviews that we do, and I think we always like to drive home how long inventing takes, right? Because it is not an overnight success, even though sometimes it feels like it can be, right?
Yeah.
When you see these products hit the market and all of a sudden there's just millions of units sold and we're like, oh my God. But there's always that backstory of from idea to concept to a little bit of research, especially independent small inventors like ourselves. We don't know where to go. We don't know who to talk to. We don't know the channels that are available to us, right? So I think that always we like to drive that point home that this is a long process. And it doesn't mean there's not success along the way, right? Or the little serendipities that connect us to the next level, or now this is going to happen.
Yes. And I totally agree with you. This has been a process going on since for 8 years. As long as my daughter has been on this earth, that's how long it's been. And it's just, sometimes you're going to have to take those leaps of faith and figure it out. And, what I've learned along the journey was that sometimes I can control to a certain point where when I say, okay, I give up, I not giving up like the whole product, but give up the control of I can't push things that I don't know until I actually understand the next steps. And when I do that, things come, things happen, things open. I meet people, and I start to gradually move towards that path.
Man, that is really great advice. That is such a great reminder, especially as we, I know we're recording this episode, and but as we're moving into the new year, I think that's really solid advice as a reminder that, a lot of inventors get so locked into their product. It's my baby. They want control over every step. And, in this industry space, we have to learn that there's big players in this space and we have to learn from others, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
I also read in your, in our questions earlier that, you put a lot of faith into this and you were told no a couple of times. And so that's obviously some challenges that inventors face, that how many no's are we going to take? And you just kind of mentioned that, like, you'll decide when it's time to kind of walk away from something. And I, as an inventor, have done that a couple of times. I haven't shut anything down, but maybe I walk away from it for a second, just to kind of refocus, rethink.
Yeah.
So tell us about, some of those challenges.
Well, right now, my biggest challenge, it's just, you're going to get a no. I remember when I first got my patent approved in Cinco de Mayo 2022, I was excited and I started to say, okay, let's roll and let's start calling people, let's start door knocking. And I did. I started sending letters out and I started calling companies. I started trying to get into Procter and Gamble, Kimberly and Clark, trying to see, okay, will somebody will somebody open a door for me? And to this day, no one has returned my phone calls. Nobody sent me a letter. I had one letter from a person I met, Joy Mangano, from her company, I believe it's Indigenous Designs, but I sent the letter back saying they're not ready for a product like mine. I didn't have any product to give, just a copy of a picture of a prototype.
Right.
But
right.
You're going to counter that. So, and let me just also say this. And from meeting Brian, because I did have a one-on-one conversation with him, he told me in the very beginning, the product that you invent is not necessarily going to be the product that's going to go out there. It might be the second or third or fourth idea. And the funny thing is that there is a part of the product that needs to be manufactured. Unfortunately, I don't have that. And it's a no for now. But I have to reinvent the idea a couple of times to actually start selling product so I can circle back to where I want to be. So yeah, you're going to come across no's. And sometimes you're going to have to reinvent. You're going to have to keep, I can't get this going, but let me just make it so that parents could understand and I still have something to offer. So it's like you have to keep inventing and making redesigns to get back to your original design. They've got, if you have the money and if you have the funding to actually, produce it, hey, great for you. But for me, it's a little, okay. But I do get the no's and I still go.
Yeah. Get the no's and still go. I might even put that on an invention t-shirt. Get the no's and still go. Because here it is, and I love the pivot, right? You have to pivot. You have to pivot your direction, your product, your modifications, whatever it is. And again, that goes back to the longevity. It takes a long time. But, the commitment to stay with something when you believe in your product, you have to be your own advocate. And I think that, sometimes, like Brian said, sometimes they're market ready. Sometimes this would be your creative juice. And then all of a sudden you're going to come up with something else next year that takes off. You circle back around and you come back to Pac-It-Pants. I mean, we don't know. The point is we're creative. We're out there. We're using the ability that the universe has given you to be this creative and come up with new product spins. I mean, let's face it, the diaper's been around forever. Why can't it have a new design, a new function? And that is a problem that you're solving. So, listen, I'm an independent inventor just like you, and I love your product, and I think it's going to be picked up. Now, that's my next question. Are you really focused on licensing, or are you leaning more towards manufacturing and producing yourself?
Right now, I'm focused on licensing. I'm focused on, what I've done, Sam, is that because I wanted to get the exposure and I wanted to be ready for that person that really wants to run with it, is to get all my ducks in a row, get my website up, do my social media. And I do it step by step. But the whole goal is to let that person know that, hey, I'm no joke. I'm a single mom. I've done everything myself. I work a full-time job. I take care of my daughter, and I state to state. But yet I'm finding an hour here, an hour there. Let me just update my website. Let me do a social media, even if it's just scanning inventory. And now I'm pushing myself to go out to like vendor venues at the farmers market, my local church, and hopefully in the city that I'm looking towards doing in February, these small little vendor events, so I can put out my product. And it's close to the original, but I do have a product that helps solve for those emergency situations. But yeah, that's my goal, is to have someone, come in and say, hey, let me work this for you. I see that you've done all the groundwork. You're serious. And that's what I want to.
Yeah. Listen, I'm almost getting emotional over here. And listen, that's not hard to do for me, okay? Because I'm passionate about inventing as well. Yeah. So what I'm really feeling, the message that I'm receiving from you today is even doing these little bits, an hour on social media, right? An hour with a conversation with a girlfriend. Hey, what do you think? Da, 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 right? Yeah. So these are all these little mini steps that I think keep you driven from within, and it's going to lead to that serendipities, because if you're not putting in even the baby steps along the way, in addition to being a mom and working full time and all your other daily life things that we all have to experience, right? Yeah. So I think you're giving a really nice message today as we roll into 2025, is just you continuously work on your product, continuously modify, continuously pivot while needed. But most importantly, like you just said, you're going to do some market things, or you're reaching out to this person. Maybe you redo your sales sheet. We talk about that a lot on this platform. Mm-hmm. Freshen it up a little bit, put a different spin on it. So I'm so proud of you, because I know what it takes, man. It takes a lot of patience and self-discovery along the way. And you've grown in the last 8 years as a human, as a woman, as an inventor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Learned a lot along the way. I learned to embrace my challenges. I learned that your fear is actually waiting for you to conquer it. And it's just, you're going to come across things that are going to make you stop, and you have a choice. You either take it, embrace it, learn from it, or you start over and you figure it out again. It hasn't been easy, but I find the joy in it along the way as I create, and I know what I want. I
love this so much. And you're reminding us too, I have a great, I don't know where it came up from. I didn't coin it. But, we're calling it, fail fast, just fail fast. Yeah. So, and take that failure as a good sign. Like, come on, I remember when my early days of trying to come up with product ideas and shot down right away. I was like, ugh, wounded. But now I'm like, cool, make room for the other creative ideas that I have, whether with existing products or new ideas. Mm-hmm. But for me, like you'd mentioned earlier, joining this community, I've been with Brian for quite some time now. And oh my gosh, from those early days to now, and I'm still learning from our community members, all the guest speakers that we have on our platform. Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, wow. These resources are just invaluable to local and independent inventors. So I'm so happy that you're part of this group. Any other advice that you would like to share with our members, or anything that's just really kind of poignant for you, standing out?
My thing, as I've heard this constantly, is that every no or every rejection you have is just a detour to a better path. And just keep the faith. It's, for me, I've done this for so long, and people, I can't. I've heard so much that you have to be in the hustle. When you get the idea, you got to run with it. And you know what? If you have the capability, run with it. But with me, I have to do mines in doses. So I feel that the way I'm doing it works for me. So do it in a way that it works for you. And that's my advice for today.
You know what? And I think you've given us so much, again, to think about and to remind ourselves personally and professionally that things take time. I'm going to ask you something. Have you ever considered writing to an editor of a parent magazine or Mother's Day or anything like that, just as an independent inventor, to submit your story to an editor at one of those magazines? Your personal story. I mean, talk about thinking outside the box. anyway, that's my thought for you today, because you're inspiring me, because I just love this attitude that you have. I love this vibe that you're giving us today, that, hey, this is a long process. It takes a long time. I've pivoted. I've challenged. I'm still here. I love your product. I think it's smart,
Thank you.
And I can't wait to be around when you let our community know, hey guys, I just got picked up by Procter & Gamble, Pampers. I mean, shout out to whichever ones those are, Loves. Maybe there's a new diaper company that's being created that we don't know anything about, right? And that comes about. I mean, but I'm a serendipitous thinker myself. I really am, Denise. I believe there's bridges of incidences that keep us going to the next and to the next. So I love your messaging today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. This was great. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to everyone. And I'm so happy to be part of this community. I
know, it's great. I love it. We have so much fun. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're hanging out with us. We're Inventor Smart Community. It's part of the National Inventor Club. We have thousands of members. There's a free membership to join. Obviously, we want everybody involved. If you can swing $10 a month, become a premium member, $99 for the year. I mean, this make an investment in yourself, into our network of community. Brian has worked tirelessly. Andy, myself, and Sean, we all do this just to bring this content and resources to everyone. And we're learning ourselves along the way as well. But for this time, you are on episode 14, and you are in our Inventor Spotlight in our community. And thank you. Really, I'm inspired by you today. I really am. I can't wait as we keep updates as the year rolls out. I'm feeling it, Denise. I feel something's burning and something's coming.
It is. And I've been feeling it for a while. But thank you so much.
Good. If we both feel it together, then let's announce this in a few months and we'll talk about it more. Honestly, you have a really cool product. And as inventors, we're luckier in the year, 2024, 25. There are more resources and more outlets for us to be seen and heard than there were, speaking of Joy, right, in the 70s or whenever that was all coming about. And I got rejected by her as well. So that didn't stop me either. I'm going to keep sending her stuff because I do think she's a really inspirational story as well, right?
I met her.
What's that?
I met Joy in person with my daughter. She was only 2 at the time. I have pictures, and Joy told me, I spoke to her about it even before I did the patent prize. She's like, just run with it. I just feel it. Just keep moving. But she is such a humble soul.
Oh my God. If I would have met her in person and she said that to me, I would have done the same thing. So when you said earlier that, she didn't accept your product, I remember thinking, I go, yeah, she didn't take mine either, but I don't care. I love her and I will submit to her again. You have to tell me no a lot before it really sticks, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, my dear. Well, thank you for spending your time with us today and being a part of this community. And I'm glad that we're building friendships and relationships and all of it that is so encompassing for the Inventor Smart community.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.